Here we go. What's up, guys? Mr. Fit to Flourish, and today took the first trade of this $500 account challenge. I don't care what people think. People are gonna be like, "Oh, like, man, that's like $30," and like that's okay. I finally understand that, like, yeah, I'm helping people learn how to trade, and at the same time, people just want to keep seeing that billion bajillion dollar trades. That doesn't happen all the time. There are days where I go up 10K, I'll go up 8K, 7K, all that good stuff. And you saw the previous $500 account challenge where I took $500 to 7K in like 5 6 days, something really short. And I could do that again, but I'm gonna practice a little bit more safe trading now. I've been doing really well trading, and the reason is because I've been mitigating my risk. Okay, my risk management is pretty much on point now. So it's like I don't just go up 8K and then go down 4K on a random day because I over leveraged. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that anymore. So my losses, if I do lose, are really small. But the main principle to go by and to learn is that amateurs practice until they get it right. Okay, so when they get it right, they're like, "Oh, cool, I'm good." But professionals practice until they can't get it wrong. So my whole thing is, I really do know and most people know when the trade is not a good trade to take, or when probably not going to go your way. And you probably still size in, you probably still take the trade. So this $500 account challenge is going to show exactly that. Like once I got up to from 500 to 7K, in those like short days, the other day with that small account challenge, it was I started to just take anything because I was like, oh, let me just I wanted to show people like, oh, like I want to show people like how I trade and how I can just go crazy, like, oh, I'm trying to flex, right? And I changed that mindset. Even though this is going to be pretty phenomenal, I'm not worried about what anybody thinks, stuff like that. I was really too worried about, hey, what do people think? So I was trying to just maximize the account a little bit too quickly. Anyways, let's talk about the trade that I took today on Spizzy Spy. Today is August 20th, 2025, and it's major downside, and it was a pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie, it was a good idea, good pre-market planning, and just absolute fucking garbage trading. Okay, but this is what happened. All right. So early morning, we had a 920 crossover. The pink line, the 9MA was below the 20. That's pretty bearish. Also, notice previous day we had structure here. I'm like, okay, we just broke below that structure, but I kind of wanted to wait for a retest because I was like, this the volume RSI was coming up, okay, which means there was a lot of up volume, but really there wasn't. We started to curl down. I was like, yo, what the hell is going on? All the stocks were doing some weird indicator type stuff, and I used that volume RSI for major confluence. Anyways, we broke below that level, and then I looked to the right here, and I'm like, okay, we have a volume node, so there's a volume gap here, so that should take us all the way down to at least 636, which is what I told the group. So I was like, you know what? I'm taking puts, and really, I'm being very cautious with taking counter trend trades because the overall trade in the market, the overall trend in the market is an upward trend. So I'm being very cautious here. Okay, but anyways, I was like, all right, I'm gonna take this. So I took 637 strike, 0 day to expiration puts. I took 637 strike. I don't think anybody ever says what they take. 637 strike, 0 DTE puts. Okay. What's the logic here? Well, it was only one strike out. I like to get out of the money out of the money options. So this was a put option. So I'm betting that the stock is going to go down. And I took 0 day to expiration because it looked like it was going to be a pretty rapid move. So anyways, entered here. Stop is going to be at a close above that freaking structure right there, I guess. And then we were also in the sell zone. So there was a lot of confluence for downside moves. So 920 crossover, we broke structure. We had that retest. We were in the sell zone, the sell ATR, and we we're below this volume node. So we should end up coming down pretty hard. Okay. So we had that pretty rapid move down, and I exited at this level. And I mean, I'm like, yeah, that's the first target, but I was like, damn, man, like we're really pushing down hard, and we had this massive volume RSI to the downside, and then the market started to dump. And if I would have held, I mean, I went up 38% on these contracts, but and it was one contract because I took one contract because it's the $500 account. Okay, so I went up 30% on that one contract, but if I would have held, it went up 300%. Just on the second move. The second move was extremely rapid, so it went up 100% instantly, and then 200% pretty quickly, and then 300%. On that second move. So I really should have held. But what I ended up doing was I entered 636 strike puts here and we kind of just teeter-tottered for a while. And then I exited there with just like a 10% gain, something stupid, 15% gain. And then this ended up going crazy too. And I was like, you know what, just horrible holds on these contracts. But I ended up going from I guess $500 to now I'm at $530. I got to show the progress. I probably should have did that first. Let me pull it up here. Boom, boom. Open link. All right. So now we are at share this tab. So now we're at 531.82. So just like my other $500 account challenge, I'm going to show you guys the progress. So this is the first trade. I'm not going to say day 1, day 2, because this is technically day 4, but I haven't taken any trades yet. I didn't take any trades because the market looks like trash right now. So just kind of be careful if you are following along, or if you're trying to do the same trades, or you're trying to do the same type of thing. It's not about, I'm going to stop sharing this because you need to listen more than you trade. Okay, trading is pretty psychological. I kept hearing that at first, and I was like, no, it's not. You need a strategy, right? Then you find a strategy. There's like 1,000 strategies, but they all work. Every strategy works. It's like, it doesn't matter if you do ICT, SMC, if you do statistics. There are some that work better when you have a lot of confluence, or if you just have news. Obviously, it's going to work if you have news. It's like, oh, the news comes out, oh, it's going in one direction forever, and it's going to be pretty volatile. But really, you want to wait for those moments where you know it's a high probability play, okay? And that's not every day where it's just high probability. Like, for instance, you might do a 920 crossover, or you might do a supply and demand strategy, and you might just be spamming, okay, it's in the demand zone, let me take the trade. Oh, it's in the demand zone, let me take the trade. And that's like, it's pretty stupid. It's pretty stupid. And I noticed that I was like, well, what's the context of the markets like right now? What are we experiencing in the markets? What's going on? What's the story? There's always a story behind price action, and it's not just stock trading or futures or crypto. Like, it's stupid to think of trading like that. You have to think of it as an exchange between two people, right? If I bring you a pair of Jordans, you've always wanted these pair of Jordans, right? You're going to have a pretty big demand for it. You've been waiting. What's the context? What's the story behind it? You've been waiting 10 years and I finally have it. You'll be willing to pay anything for these Jordans. But let's talk about the same Jordans that you do want, but you can get it from 1,000 different people at different prices. I might come to you and say, hey, you want these Jordans? And you're like, not really. You're selling it at a price that's a little bit too high. I'm going to get it over here. So what's the context behind being in this demand zone, being in the supply zone, or this strategy that you, what's the context behind it? Okay. So the way to refrain from taking the trade, or refrain from buying those Jordans from this guy, is you have to be in a place of abundance. Like, if you know that this guy's selling it for way too high, selling these Jordans for the price is way too high, he's selling it for $300, and you can get it from your mom for $150. Well, why not just wait till you see your mom and your mom sells you the Jordans, okay, instead of getting it from this guy? So that's kind of how the markets work. It's like, all right, well, we get into this demand zone, right? But the stock is not always going to move out of that demand zone. So you might take a trade, and then we trade options, so they're wasting assets. So you might take the trade, and then your options start to decrease in price because of theta decay. It starts to go down, right? And it's just going sideways. It's not getting out of the demand zone. You're like, yo, we're in the demand zone. We should be ripping to the moon. Well, what's the context? Nothing's happening that day. There's no catalyst, right? So a lot of the time you need a catalyst, or you have to understand what's going on. Is Trump tweeting, or what is this happening? Is this happening? And just be patient, because there are days where the market is going crazy, and it's easy. It's like, oh man, and you're like, oh man, because I know this happened to me a lot. It was like, oh man, I should have waited for today, man. I should have waited for today. I lost like a lot of money the other day. I could have just used that money today when it's easy, but I was forcing a trade the other day, so I lost all the money. Now I don't have money to trade with. That kept happening to me in the beginning because I kept trying to force trades. So with this $500 account challenge, what I'm doing is I'm literally just waiting for the days where I know it's super obvious. It's like, okay, it is pretty obvious. We're going in one direction. Like, come on. And if you do that, again, I like to show, I'm actually going to show this screen. I like to show, like, yo, you can take, boom, and go here. I'm going to share this tab. But I like to show, like, you can take $1,000 to $1 million in 2 weeks if you actually do this. So what do you do? Well, 1,000 goes to 2,000. That's 100% play. 2,000 goes to 4,000. Another 100% play. 4 to 8. 8 to 16. And this looks kind of unrealistic. It's pretty hard to do this, but it is possible if you just wait for 100% gain, like a play that's pretty obvious. And it's not going to happen in 2 weeks. You'll have to kind of skip days of trading because there'll be days where nothing's happening, and then you trade on days where it's pretty obvious. Okay, where the setup is obvious, the market pulled back too much, and that's going to go up, or if it went up too much, it's going to come down. You're going with the overall trend, et cetera, et cetera. But when the stars align, that's when you kind of want to take action. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm focused on this time. Last time I was just kind of spamming trades. And I have pretty good strategies, and I know how to read price action really well, which is why I took the 500 to 7K pretty quickly. A lot of people were pretty astonished. They're like, oh, I didn't know that was possible. Yeah, it is possible. But what I do want you guys to understand is, and what I'm doing this time is I'm trying to make people understand that, hey, when you're trading, you need to be patient. You need to wait for the setups or the days where it's absolutely certain. If you do have some uncertainty, and you're not willing to put on the risk, if you're not willing to lose all that money because it's options, then don't put on the trade. Don't put on the trade, okay? Don't size in too much, which basically means like if your heart is beating too fast, then that means you're putting in too much money, okay? So using this tiny amount, this $500, is a really good way to practice trading, and honestly to just scale your trading. You could, like people say, oh, you can't use $500 and take it to $1 million. Like you really can't. I'm going to show it. I'm going to show it. Okay. But essentially, be patient, manage your risk, and then compound growth is real. Just like when you lose weight, it takes time, right? It's going to take time. And then all of a sudden you're ripped. I know that happened to me. So I'm like, hey, the compound effect is extremely real. Anyways, it's your boy, Mr. Fit to Flourish. Hopefully this helped. Really slow start, but hey, we're going to get there pretty quickly. And I'm outie.